I'm just trying to understand what a battery stewardship organization is. Can you explain what a battery stewardship organization does or is, or how it's created?
Yes, thank you. The bill is creating the stewardship organization. So where they're going to be figuring out the collection sites, where they're going to be done, where the how to get the batteries then to the people who are sort of managing the end of life of the batteries. And so that's what the organization is being established here by this legislation.
You're legislating something into existence, and I'm trying to understand who that's going to be, where the responsibility falls here.
The responsibility, let's see. So how this works is that it's controlled and funded by the producers, and then they're running the program.
So the manufacturers of batteries
Yes.
would fund this.
Yes, so the producers are paying into the program, and that's what's kind of so that's helping sort of sustain this.
So how do they pay? Is there a fee? Is there a rate charge for every battery they produce? How do they know? If I was a battery producer, how would I know how much money to put into this fund to create this organization?
So what we're doing is that we're taking batteries of all kinds, correct? So we're talking like even like your little button batteries, the AA's, 9 volts, and then other things, lithium ions. So we're sort of, how this is doing is that we're sort of collecting all these batteries together, and then some of the batteries have more valuable materials inside of them that when they're sort of extracted, they can be used, in the way to sort of, that it can be recycled better, if that makes sense. So the producers are all coming together so that we can sustainably and safely be able to reuse batteries at the end of their life cycle.
So where are all about the process? Who creates these collection sites? How are they funded? How does this work? Is it in the language? Is there an assessment on manufacturers? Is there an assessment on distributors? Is there assessment to retailers about how this thing is funded? I don't think that's a hard question.
No,
because you're saying that.
But we've already talked about the fees that are the fees that are also done with this. I mean, Leader Windhorst asked that question.
But that was $100,000 that you, for a permit that you pay EPA to be able to do this. So EPA turns that. What do they do with that $100,000?
That's how they implement the program.
Okay, once again, ladies and gentlemen, we're really short on answers, we're really short on details. I guess the question in final closing, Representative, are we going to have to write an end-of-life care for every one of these batteries that are a part of this program?
I don't believe so, Representative. I think that, the battery manufacturers and producers are the ones that, know exactly how each battery sort of works. Again, that's sort of beyond my scope of knowledge. I'm not a battery scientist, but again, they were brought together all here in the negotiations for this bill, and we had all the stakeholders involved.
It appears to say in the bill that the annual fee is for EPA to administer the act. Did the EPA give a suggestion that $100,000 per organization was what they needed? Basically, I'm trying to get at how was that dollar figure arrived at as an appropriate fee?
Honestly, I'm not entirely sure, but I do know that, again, this was for many, many, many months of negotiations with all the stakeholders involved. I think that this is just the fee that they sort of came up with, that they thought, everybody involved thought that this would be appropriate for the program.
Were the potential businesses who will be involved in this at the table?
Yes, IRMA and IMA as well.
There's also civil penalties of $7,000 per violation. I believe that's correct.
Yes.
And that will be enforced by the EPA?
Yes.